हेलो इग्नू स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू द चैनल। अगर आप एमए इंग्लिश के स्टूडेंट हैं, MEG03 आपका सब्जेक्ट है, तो आपके लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेटिव ये वीडियो होने वाली है। जी हाँ फ्रेंड्स, क्योंकि इस वीडियो में मैं आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ सॉल्व असाइनमेंट्स ब्रिटिश नॉवल MEG03 के लिए, जो लेटेस्ट एडिशन है जुलाई 2022 एंड जनवरी 2023 सेशन के लिए। सो विदाउट एनी डिले लेट्स स्टार्ट द वीडियो फ्रेंड्स। इस वीडियो में मैं आपको इस असाइनमेंट के बारे में और भी बहुत सारी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें बताने वाली हूँ। सो मेक श्योर वीडियो का एंड तक जरूर देखें एंड डू सब्सक्राइब द चैनल पर नए हैं या पहली बार आए हैं तो चैनल से बने रहने के लिए सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लें एंड बेल नोटिफिकेशन को भी ऑन रखिएगा। सो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। आपके असाइनमेंट आंसर्स की हम बात करने वाले हैं। GullyBaba.com से ये आंसर्स आपके लिए मैं लेकर आई हूँ। द क्वेश्चन इज राइट अ क्रिटिकल एसे ऑन द नरेटिव टेक्निक अडॉप्टेड बाय म्यूरल स्पार्क इन द प्राइम ऑफ मिस जीन बॉडे। पूरा का पूरा सॉल्व आंसर्स फ्रेंड इस वीडियो में मैं आपको शो करने वाली हूँ। आप इसको एज इट इज रेफर कर सकते हैं, आप इसको अपनी लर्निंग के लिए रेफर कर सकते हैं। इट्स ऑल अप टू यू। तो बहुत ज्यादा इन्फॉर्मेटिव ये वीडियो होने वाली है। तो आंसर को स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो द आंसर इज फ्रेंड म्यूरल स्पार्क अकॉर्डिंग टू F. O'Connor is the one of the most important Catholic writer of our time. Ruth Whittaker says that her novel clings to the traditional forms and methods. She is a writer who firmly knows her own authority and power. Though she speculates about them, she is a writer who has sense of the reality of the world she creates, and yet she is capable of showing how unreal the realistic can be. She creates characters who can protest against their creators and reveal facts which are unfiltered with strange and unimagined potentials. Like the traditional religious writers, Spark believes in supernaturalism. She believes that there is some supernatural agency, that is God, presiding over human reality. But her fate doesn't make her revert to the moral tone and allegorical methods of the traditional religious novel. Her novels have a sharp stylistic authenticity brought about by techniques which are peculiarly postmodern. Postmodern writers do not accept realistic style for several reasons. In the first place, reality in the modern world has become more and more fictitious. We live in such a mad world with so much plurality that no one can confidently say that there is anything universally accepted as reality. And what is second? The life has become heavily fictionalized due to the media, press and public relation networks. Media, press and public relations are open and nobody watch on their actions. So whatever they want to speak, they speak. Even though history, journalism, sociology, audiovisual media are supposed to be real and objective, they often structure reality as a fiction. We have an ideal of what happened in Gulf War only from details and pictures arranged different persons and news agencies. A novelist or a writer can opt any one of the courses for his story. The new generalism is a balance between different stories, and so it is more fictional and deals with fantasy and fabulation. Again, a novelist sometimes clings to a reality and imagination between the inner subjective and the external social experiences. Friends, not only from the perspective of your assignments, this question is very much important from the perspective of your examination. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि जो आपके assignment के questions होते हैं वो as it is आपके examination में भी आ जाते हैं. So this is really important. Some novelist clings to the reality within their perception and is thus called self-reflexive and introspective. The last course is adopted by the postmodernist, and Park is one such novelist. So Whittaker remarked her fiction is equally and simultaneously is concerned with God and form. Form itself becomes a theological statement. God's designs reflect, duplicates novelist work. This work is a metaphor for God's design. So these words are said by Whittaker about Park. Her novel for some critics are therefore strange novels. Okay, so now to bring out the conflict as a God's will and human will, Park has different narrators. Bradbury says that in her novel the narrators play two roles, that of the gods always in control human affair and also that of the novelist herself, concerned with the depiction of chores, random event necessary for the god. As per her belief, there is nothing big or small, important or trivial in human life which is not a part of the design of the god. The casual incidents or the happenings truly sparking belongings to a form which becomes significant at the end. Here the story, the prime of the Miss Jean Baudet. Miss Baudet has full control over her set of girls. She feels that the girls are hers for life. They will not betray her. She is like Calvin God to them. She treats Sandy and Rose fittest of all the girls to progress as she groomed them. She asks them to perform a job for her. Rose should love Lloyd, the art teacher, and Sandy should report to her their activities. The plan fails. Sandy takes the role of the Rose as informer. Sandy has access to the Lloyd's Roman Catholic house. The incident is ordinary but presents the real conflicts between the Calvinism and Roman Catholic. Sandy and the individualist independent body, a Calvinist, consider herself as a god free to do as she desires. She feels the god is on her side and so she can adopt even an unethical and simple life. Sandy is young, sensitive girl. She is one of the set of the 6 young girls. But when she divorces the real depiction of her favorite teachers, she betrays and Bodhi's fierce, ungodly individualism ultimately lead to her fall. Her confidence is shattered until her death. She could suspect that a girl loyal to her has betrayed. The author as interpreter intervenes to suggest that Roman Catholic Church could make body normal but body could not free herself from individualism as Sandy and the Rose could free themselves from the stranglehold of their teacher. So Miss Body doom is evident in the scheme of form of God, whereas the girl's service and the Sandy joins the Roman Church as a nun. The omniscience narrator in the novel represents good and the novelist having full control over the happening with the full knowledge of the beginning and end of the characters. Body, Sandy and Jenny also acts as interpreters. The narrator has full control over the high-handedness of Miss Body playing a god to the set of the girls. Park has full control over the time shifts backward and forward over the stepping chronological plan of action. Spark's technique gives future fates of her characters in the novel. Closely mimics the god. Lodge belief flash forward technique in the Spark doesn't serve the moral end or suspense. The reader is forced to shift his attention from who has done it to why did it happen and with what justice. Thus, chronology and the time sequence are consciously rejected by Spark. The flash forward technique involves a mode of the narration that first describes how protagonist shapes up her in the adulthood and the novel at the very outset describes how each of the body girl turned up in the future. Okay, so को मैंने ये आंसर बहुत ही अच्छे से रीड करके बताया है. अगर आपका कोई डाउट है तो आप हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हैं. और ये आपका लेटेस्ट असाइनमेंट है फ्रेंड, लेटेस्ट एडिशन है आपके असाइनमेंट का जो वैलिड है. सो आप इसको डेफिनेटली यूज कर सकते हैं. आई होप ये आपके लिए इन्फॉर्मेटिव रहा है. सो नाउ लेट मी शो यू द असाइनमेंट विच आई शोड यू अर्लियर. सो अगर आप चाहते हैं इन सभी क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स, आप इस असाइनमेंट को बाय कर सकते हैं. और इसी तरह के और भी असाइनमेंट के क्वेश्चंस रेफर करने के लिए आप डेफिनेटली gullybaba.com विजिट कर सकते हैं. डायरेक्ट लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दिया गया है. सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो टिल एंड. इसी तरह की और वीडियो पाने के लिए चैनल को जरूर सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा. हम जल्द ही मिलेंगे एक नई वीडियो के साथ. स्टे ट्यून्ड विद द चैनल फॉर मोर अपडेट्स.